Welcome back in to Exit 99 Sports. As always, my name is Caleb DeLoach, and unfortunately, I am telling you today is our spring sport postseason, playoffs, postseason wrap-up. We have reached the very, very, very end now of the sports calendar across southeast Missouri, specifically our Cape Jackson area. So, yeah, we are done across the board now at this point. It's kind of sad. Like I said, been a fun year, a long year, a lot of really, really good performances, a lot of good teams closing out good seasons and closing out strong. And so we will get into all of that here on this episode, try and talk about, how the season did end for some teams, and then do a little bit of, a look back, kind of see what teams are losing, kind of see how they finish the year, things like that, kind of how these teams have closed things out. And I'll just kind of start with, we'll go with individual sport, or we'll go team sports first. We'll start on the baseball side of things. And some of these things I might have mentioned in the last podcast. I took the week off because of, because of Memorial Day. I was out of town. So we're going to jump in. Maybe, like I said, mention a few things that we've already talked about, but hit on all of our teams here in the Cape County area. So we'll start with Saxony Lutheran baseball. They're in Class 3, District 2. In their district tournament, they beat Kelly in the first round 4-2, but they did fall to Scott City 9-2 in the semifinals. Pretty good year. Also, Scott City got upset in the championship by Greenville, the 3 seed. Bananas. That was the most shocking thing I saw, I think, all postseason. Anyway, so the Saxony team, good year, 14-8. What they have on the Misha website, a very exciting team at times. They put up a lot of runs in some ball games. So they're very, very fun to watch, especially when the bats were hot. They play competitive. They're a good team, solid team. They only lose 3 seniors, obviously important players, led by Braden Moore, a kid who had the craziest game I've ever heard of individual-wise early in the year, going, I believe, 4 home runs, 2 in an inning. Just an absurd stat line in that one ball game, but he's going to be playing at the next level. Also graduating Isaac Koenig and Jason Sparks Jr. Bringing back a good, junior class, decent amount, a lot of freshmen, a few sophomores will be coming back next year. So I'm excited to see the Saxony team losing 3 seniors, 3 good seniors, but a lot coming back, a lot of talent on the roster still going forward. We'll move up to a team that I was a little bit surprised how they went out. Notre Dame Bulldogs, Class 4, District 1. Only 5 teams in their district. So they played in the first round against Fredericktown. They went out 5-1 against Fredericktown. Tough way to end the year for the Bulldogs. They had a solid season. I was about to say right around 500. They did finish 14-1. It's the official record. They did have a tie the very first game of the season. Some highs, some lows. They broke the long streak losing against Jackson. They finally got a W over the Indians 4-3 at their place, so that was nice. They won a couple of games in the SEMO Conference tournament. Tough way to go out losing against Fredericktown, but a good season nonetheless. They will be losing quite a bit as far as seniors go on the baseball team. I'll run through some of these names. I know several guys are going to be playing at the next level, including Channing Pattengill, Reed Morgan, Lawson Mills, Michael McClard, Logan Landaway, Nick Gata, Brett Dohan, and Jack Cozine Jr. all going to be graduating. So a big, big senior class, kind of how it's been across a lot of sports for Notre Dame. I remember doing the same conversation, talking about their boys basketball team. They lost 1 million kids there as well. Similar case to baseball. Good-sized junior class, though. Big sophomore class, big freshman class coming up. So some good talent still waiting in the wings. TJ Bolin, a guy we talked about a lot. Very, very good pitcher. Had a very good season at the plate as well. So some solid talent returning, but they do lose quite a bit. And some, like I said, I believe 3 guys playing at the next level. So a tough bit of talent heading out the door, but a good season by the Bulldogs. Nothing for them to hang their head about. Finishing this year at 500. Moving up to Class 5, the Cape Central Tigers lost a 2-1 decision to Festus up at, I believe, North County is where the game was at. Festus was a 3 seed. Cape was a 6 seed. Festus, very good team. They kind of underperformed throughout the regular season. And then the Tigers, maybe you could say overperformed maybe some expectations in a way, especially if you reset expectations after the start of the season. They began the year 0-6, I think it is. Let me look. I'll pull it up here. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, they lost 6 games to start the year. Maybe not against Sykeston. Lost a couple at Sykeston. Maybe not the greatest team in the world. Played some good teams in there, though. Farmington, Kirkwood. But another team who got off the schneid against Jackson. They beat the Indians 5-4. First time again in 8 years or something crazy like that. But a good season. Cape Central hosted. They had that crazy win streak in the middle of the year, like I said, starting with that Jackson win. They won that Woodbat showcase they had over a weekend. They played well in the SEMO Conference tournament, ultimately falling in extra innings to Jackson in a rematch. Had a good season. Maybe closed out a little weak. The back half of the schedule didn't go quite as well. I felt like that Jackson loss really kind of knocked the wind out of their sails a little bit. But throughout the year, the Bats were hot most of the season. They're a team that's also going to be losing a little bit, especially in just pure talent-wise. They're going to be losing Keegan Palmer, coach's son. Coach Palmer, first year, did a pretty good job there. 13-15 where the Tigers finish. Keegan was phenomenal on the mound and at the plate. He was their guy they turned to. He was the ace they turned to when they needed him in big moments, when they're facing big-time opponents like Jackson, et cetera. They're also going to be graduating Braden Mead, who I saw is going to be playing at the next level as well, Declan Pittman, and Travis Clipful Jr. So a small senior class again, but a couple of classes following up behind them. They'll still have some guys that had big moments. Obviously, Chapman Ogles, Jathan Spain, both very good players. Chapman Ogles, a guy who really felt like he's back to 100%. I know he had a tough injury, I believe his freshman year. It's blowing out an arm, something like that is not something that just fixes itself overnight, and not just your first year back. You're not 100%. I think he looked quite back to where he had been earlier in his career. He looked really good this year. He lost a couple of tough outings where he only gave up maybe 1 earned run, 2 earned runs. But he had a heck of a season. Like I said, Spain, good player. Christian McNew had some good moments. Hayden Bowers. So some solid players. Caden Chenoweth. Some solid players that stepped up in big moments. Had a lot of big hits. Some good starting pitching coming back. So that's a team that I think will probably be improved even next year. Like I said, they're losing some good talent. But I think they can maybe even improve. Coach Palmer, I have a lot of faith in over there. Going to get things done. The team they did lose to, Festus, did end up winning that district in District 1, Class 5. And in Class 6, the Jackson Indians actually went on to win their district. They beat Fox in the first round, 12-0. They upset the 1 seed Lindbergh, 8-4 on the road. And then they played Kirkwood, the 2 seed, I believe, on the road as well, 7-0. So I know that was a big moment for Jackson. The team was very fired up. I know you had Drew Parsons on the mound for that one. I think he went complete game, shutout. I saw in the newspaper how he said, it felt good. Maybe getting a little bit of revenge on Kirkwood because that's who ended his football season up there at Kirkwood. So he was able to deliver the same and knock off Kirkwood, and their ace starting pitcher was their quarterback as well. So big time moment for the Indians. A couple of big wins. Jackson got hot at the right time. They had a crazy streak as well. I think they won. It was like 15 of 16 or something like that, 14 of 15 that they had won. And so they made it into the state tournament. They won that tough district and won. Lindbergh, like I said, very solid team. Some guys going to be playing at high major next level. Kirkwood, very good opponent. And then Jackson actually got the opportunity to host the quarterfinal. For those that don't know, in quarterfinals, they went to a series system, at least in Class 6. Not sure if they did that. They did in Class 5 as well. But in Class 6, had a 3-game series. It was at Jackson. I was able to go over there this past weekend, see Game 2 of the series. They lost Game 1 3-1, 3 errors on the ball game. The bats really didn't get going either, though. I think they finished with 3 hits. Just really good pitching out of Parkway South, and maybe the Indians not as tight as they need to be, behind the pitcher. And then second game, just tough. It was more Jackson really had a lot of opportunities. They left a lot of guys on base. I don't remember the exact number. I was trying to keep up with it because it was tough. It was double digits by the end of the game. Unable to maybe get hits when they needed them, when they got guys in scoring position. They lose 2-1 in extra innings. How did that game go down? It stayed 0-0 for most of the ball game. I want to say Parkway South scored. Parkway South, I think they were the home team in it, weirdly enough. That's always very confusing. No, let me think. I think Parkway South scored in, I think Jackson was the home team. So Parkway South, I'm getting my baseballs confused because I've been watching the College World Series where teams will be hosting, but they'll be the away team sometimes. Super confusing. I think, if memory serves, Parkway South scored a run in the bottom of the 6th. Jackson turned around, got one across to tie it, sent it to extras, and I believe in bottom 8, Parkway South came away with the victory. Jackson had some big plays, some big moments, really, really good pitching throughout. Only giving up 5 runs in those 2 games, but on the flip side, the bats just couldn't get going. Like I said, in the second game, Jackson out-hit Parkway South. They were hitting the starting pitcher all day. They were getting guys on base. Whatever. I don't know how many there's decisions you can question, but regardless, they got guys on base. They just could not get guys across home plate. So they come up short there, going 0-2 against Parkway South. So Parkway South going to be heading to the Final Four. Jackson had a chance to go back to the Final Four for the first time in a few years. They would have been playing Blue Springs South, good team out of Kansas City, but that does end the Indian season there in the state quarterfinals. They're another team going to be losing quite a bit of talent. A few guys going to be going high major, or at least D1 that's going to be graduating off this roster. They lose. Let me pull up the whole list here. I'll just read through. It is a long list, about 10 guys here. Lance Wilson, very good DH. Braden Smith, good pitcher for them this season. Cole Coburl had a heck of a year on the mound this season. Peyton Kite, big center fielder. You can argue, say, maybe the most talented player. He's going to Bradley. Cooper Rhodes, I believe, going to Evansville. Braden Akers, Maxwell Blackburn, who's had some good moments on the mound. Drake Weber, and Benjamin Dombach. So a very, very big group of seniors, a lot of guys who contributed a lot of guys who were out there day in and day out for this Indians team. Now, Jackson kind of does usually have an embarrassment of riches when it comes to the baseball program, and they do have a good amount of dudes coming back next season. To be led, obviously, by Drew Parsons, who I mentioned earlier. He's committed to SEMO, plays catcher, pitches for the Indians. Probably he's going to be the best pitcher next season. He's going to be the ace next season. A lot of guys I do like coming back, though, especially younger guys even. Keegan Bregman has some good moments. Grant Brown, only a sophomore, playing third base. Adler Flynn playing up the middle, coming back as a senior next year. So they have a lot of talent. They will be good again next year, but they do lose a lot. So quarterfinals, it'll be tough to get back. It's always going to be tough in Class 6, but it's going to be a tough road with the amount of people that they are losing. But I really, really trust the players over there. They're always good. And year in and year out, Coach Roach has been doing a good job since he's been here. Him and his whole coaching staff do a great job. So I have the utmost faith that they will still be a pretty solid team next year when push comes to shove. I'll jump into, let's go to soccer here next. We had some teams win a couple of games in districts. We'll start in Class 2 where Saxony is at. They won game 1. They played Perryville, tough team. They played Perryville, I think, twice in a week, I want to say. They beat Perryville 1-0. to get to the semifinals, but they ran into a brick wall there. St. Pius to 10th shut them out, beat them 6-0 there in the semifinals. A tough loss for the Crusaders. Good year for Saxony, 9-8. They always play a tough schedule, play all the schools a little bit bigger than them here in Southeast Missouri. They do lose a big senior class. Allie Miller, Margaret Hillen, Isabel Brown, Faith Dreyer, Camille Ritchie, Amelia Wilson, Adelina Deckard, and Abigail Haley, all going to be graduating. They have only 3 juniors on the roster, at least at the moment. Good size sophomore and a lot of freshmen on the roster as well. We'll obviously see how that pans out. So losing a lot over there at Saxony. A lot of girls who contribute a lot to the team. So we'll see how they are able to kind of recover from some of that. Like I said, pretty good year, 9-8. Had some decent wins. Beat Marion, Illinois. They beat the teams they were supposed to throughout. If you look at the schedule, the teams that are below 500 usually were wins. Some of the teams maybe above 500 were losses. Put it on Cape Central a couple weeks ago. So good year overall for the Lady Crusaders. But they do lose in their district semifinal. Class 3, District 1, Notre Dame. It was actually at Cape Central. So Notre Dame won their first round over Farmington. Cape Central won their first round over Sykeston. So those two teams actually met in the semifinals at Cape. It was all Bulldogs, 8-0. Notre Dame just bum rushed the Tigers. Just blew them out completely from the get-go. And Notre Dame actually went on to win their district. They faced Festus in the championship, won that ball game 2-1, and sent themselves into the state tournament. However, once they got there, they had a very, very, very big task waiting for them. They're taking on St. Joseph's Academy. St. Joseph's, absolutely incredible. One of maybe the best program in the state, one of the best programs in the state. I looked up their winning ways numbers. They came into the game, by the way, 15-3. But throughout their history, they have 7 state titles. They've come in second 3 times. They've come in third 6 times, and they've come in fourth place 1 time. So a team that you expect to be at or around the state title every year. And they do run over Notre Dame 7-0. So the Bulldogs, good year. Once again, they had a very tough stretch to start the season. They played some good teams. They played a couple of Parkway schools, caught a couple of losses there. They lost to Jackson. But then the back half of the schedule, once again, kind of the games that they should win. They did a great job taking care of business, beating a good St. Vincent team 4-2. Pretty much they blew out Saxony. They beat Cape Central, blew out Farmington, beat Perryville, went on the road, beat Poplar Bluff. The only blemish from mid-April on was losing in double overtime to St. Pius X, who won 16 games. So, good year. District championship for the Bulldogs. They, once again, are another team. As you expect, these teams that are better traditionally are led by a lot of seniors. And Notre Dame will be graduating quite a few girls, looks like around 10 as well. Cora Burford, Addison Clippard, phenomenal goal scorer all season for Notre Dame. Skylar Kraft, Sophia Emmons, Colby Grimes, Claire Henneman, Isabella Palmer, Stella Schwain, and Maya Schaefer. So they do lose quite a bit. Some good talent, though, coming back. Only 4 juniors listed on the roster, but Lola Wunderlich, Maya DeBow, great 1-2 combo with Clippard all season long up front. Mia Panton, Aiden O'Daniel. So a good team. A lot of sophomores listed on the roster. A ton of freshmen played for them this past year at the lower levels. So Notre Dame, they kind of move like clockwork as well in soccer. They're going to be good. They're going to get girls ready, put them in the right place to win, and they're going to be back playing well again next season. I have no doubt. Coach Ryan Schwain does a great job over there. They officially finished the season 12-7. So a good season for Notre Dame. Making to the state tournament, like I said, St. Joseph's Academy. You never want to just say pack it in ahead of time, but you just kind of do what you can with a team like that. And then in Class 4, where Jackson was sitting, They are in a very, very, very tough district. So, Class 4, District 1, Jackson was the 3 seed coming in, which is crazy if you've, seen Jackson this year. They were, I think, 14-3 or something like that, 12 or 13-3, something like that going in. But their district, the 1 seed is Corhezu, who, all year long has been the best team in the state of Missouri. And then they won Class 3 last year, state title. And then Narrants Hall was the 2 seed. Narrants Hall, one of the best teams in the state. They won the Class 4 state title last year. So you had 2 state champions in the district alongside, good Jackson team, Oakville, Lindbergh, Seckman. So an absolutely loaded district. And Jackson came away victorious 2-0 over Seckman. In the first game of districts, they got goals from Mia Becker and Maya Domian. But then they played Narrants Hall in the semifinals. Death taxes in Narrants Hall kind of right now for Jackson, the girls' soccer. Narrants Hall won 2-1 in overtime. Like I said, Narrants Hall reigning state champs. Maya Domian had a great goal from way outside the box in the first half. Jackson led 1-0. Narrants Hall was able to equalize, and then late in the first overtime, it's a golden goal, so if you score, it's over. Late in that first overtime, Narrants Hall got a goal and put Jackson away, and that is the 4th straight year that Narrants Hall has ended Jackson season. So a tough monkey on the back of the Indians, losing to Narrants Hall once again. Jackson does finish the year, though, 15-4. No exception to kind of the attrition that I mentioned earlier. They're going to be losing a lot, and a lot of very good players, a lot of good starters for this team. Riley Monaghan had a great year, goal scorer up front for the Indians. Brooke Balsman, she's been a very, very good center back for Jackson. Jenna Green, Ella Hasty, Mia Becker, who I just mentioned, got a goal in their first round of districts. Lily Conrad playing up front had a good year. Maya Domian, can't say enough. Going to be, I don't know if they've said All-State, 2-3-time All-State now, probably player this year. Going to play at SEMO, best all-around player for the Indians all season long, kind of dominating the middle of the field, helping distribute, scoring goals when the ball does come her way. So a lot of goals going out the door for the Indians. Also, Alyssa Lord, Cameron Alsdorf, starting goalie for the team. So Jackson's going to lose a lot. But I'm not worried, you would say, about them going forward. They have just kind of a tradition of success. I mean, you just click on their history, right? 15 wins this year, 15-4. Last year, 17-4, 17-2, 17, 19, 17, 19, 17, 19, 20. The last decade, their worst season win number-wise is this year of 15-4. So they have kind of got it figured out. Coach Caleb Besink, first year at the helm. Good job, I'd say, overall. They do bring back a good amount of players, a good amount of girls who, made big strides, kind of stepping into bigger roles. Some underclassmen that played a lot, Addison Crooks, Reagan Gwynn in the back, Mason Daniel, Rachel Berger in the middle played well throughout the season. You got Emma Larson, Rudy Klun, Ashlyn Dawes, Jocelyn Sauerbrunn, and Maddie Stelling all moving up to seniors this year. So a lot of good talent there in the senior class next year. And I expect Jackson to once again kind of dominate the area, kind of be the class of the area as they have been throughout the years. So I believe we talked about most others. We finished up all the other team sports. We finished golf the last time I had you guys, tennis, volleyball. But one thing that just finished this past weekend is the state track and field meet. And there's a lot to kind of get into here, so I won't waste too much time. I'll just try to go over, maybe just try to find the people here in each of our schools in the Cape Girardeau County area. And we'll start Class 2, Saxony. Saxony is in Class 2. I was reading something else and trying to say Saxony at the same time. They sent a good amount of they sent a few kids up to the state meet. They had some good finishers while up there on the girls' side. Abigail Haley came in 12th in prelim, so didn't get to the finals, but she did come in 12th, 16:92 in the 100-meter hurdles. 4x4, their team finished in 12th in the prelims at 4:18:45. In pole vault, they did have two girls there in pole vault. Sarah Seaball came in 12th place, jumping 2.8 meters. And then Casey Call got herself a first-team All-State nod, got herself on the podium. Top 8 finishers are considered, like I said, All-State. And you get yourself, like I said, on the actual podium out there. Gets a picture taken, get a medal. So Casey Call does come in 7th place, jumping 2.95 meters. So good job by Casey. Over on the boys' side, they sent 2 boys up to the state meet. Maxim Mayhew, good 400-meter runner all season long, been very competitive down here in Southeast Missouri. He runs 51.77 to come in 11th place, just outside of the finals. And then Nishan Davis, he comes in 9th place in the 110-meter hurdles in prelims at 15.82. So pretty good time there by Nishan, but he gets just out of that first-team All-State recognition. So good season overall, like I said. A lot of kids very competitive throughout the year here in the area. Nishan Davis been one of the better 110-meter hurdlers on the boys' side of things. So a good season for Davis, and like I said, pretty good year, pretty good showing there up at the state meet for Saxony. And like I said, one girl getting a medal there, Miss Call. So we'll go up to Class 3. A little bit of a weird situation here, private school situation for Notre Dame. So their boys are in Class 3. The girls are in Class 4. So we'll get to the girls here. But first, boys, Class 3 meet. They had quite a few people up there, a couple of people running a couple of different races. So we'll start with, they had a field competitor. Ellis Bruni had a season best, 4.27 meters on the pole vault to come in 5th place, got himself an All-State nod, so big-time jump by Bruni. Big-time finish there for him. Relay-wise, their 4x8 team came in 10th place, running at 8:30, so good job by them. The 4x2 team, they were able to qualify for the final. They qualified in 5th place, and they finished in the final in 5th place as well, running 1:29.63 in the final to get 5th place there for the 4x2 team. So they come in as all-state group. And then the 4x1 team, they finished in 8th place in the prelims. So they just snuck in the prelims. But that's all you got to do. You just got to get there, get yourself into the finals. And they were able to do that. Let me pull up the 4x1 here. And they got themselves to the finals. And then once they got to the finals, they outpaced themselves. They beat their seed and came in 5th place, running 43.28. So a little bit of 43.28. So a little bit of an improvement from the prelims. Got themselves in 5th place. So good showing by the 4x1, 4x2 teams. Some good sprinters there for the Bulldogs. Maybe not guys that got there individually up to the state level, but as a relay team, they did a very, very good job. In the hurdles, somebody I've talked about a lot this season, Trenton Powell, has been very, very good for Notre Dame all year long, one of the better hurdlers in Southeast Missouri. He made it up to state in the 110 hurdles and the 300 hurdles. Maybe a little bit better in the 300 hurdles for him personally. And the 100 will start in the prelims. Another guy snuck in there at 8th place, made it to the final. But once he got to the final, kind of outpaced his seed, finished in 5th place, ran 15.08 seconds in the hurdles, so good showing there by Powell. And in the 300 hurdles, he ran kind of same positioning in the prelims and the finals. He comes in 3rd place in the finals, so big time. 3rd place is no joke. Top 3 in state is huge. And he ran that in 40.30 there in the finals. He's been a guy hanging right around the 40 mark all year. He's kind of dipped under a few times, I think, got to 39. So he's had a good season. Another good year by Powell. He'll be back, and he'll be very, very tough to beat next year in the hurdles. And then had a couple of guys up at state for long distance, 1,600 and 3,200. So same two guys. Aiden Morris and Jackson Jones. Aiden Morris is a guy I've talked about a lot. I like Aiden Morris a lot. He is only a freshman, and I knew all season long he was getting to the spot and able to make some noise, I thought, whenever he got to the state meet. And he did just that. In the 1600, Jackson Jones comes in 15th place at 4:38. In the 1600, Aiden Morris, however, gets 7th to put himself in the first-team All-State category, got on the podium, finishing in 4 minutes, 20 seconds for the freshman. And in the 3200, Jones came in at 11th place, finishing in 10 minutes, 16 seconds. But Aiden Morris ran a very good 9:33 to come in 3rd place there in the 3200. So phenomenal season by Aiden. Only a freshman. I mean, progress isn't always linear, but you have to assume only going to get better from here, only going to get stronger, only going to, fill out, develop more. He's only 14, 15 all season long. So very excited to see what the future holds for Aiden. And, heck of a year, coming in 2 different races, finishing All-State is nothing to thumb your nose at all. That's big time, especially, the 16 and the 32. Running that many miles over a 2-day span, tough at that high of a level in pretty warm conditions, if memory serves. So, great job there by Aiden. Like I said, kind of living up to what I expected by him, expected for him all season long. So we'll jump up now to Class 4, where we will find the Notre Dame girls. Click on them, see how they finished out. They had some good showings up at state. They had a lot of qualifiers up to state. They did very, very well in the sectional in Class 4, Sectional 1. So predominantly, Southeast Missouri, kind of the St. Louis area as well. They got a lot of runners through, a lot of people in field events through as well. We'll stick on the field side first. Throwing, javelin, Claire Robert comes in 15th place over 31 meters. Mary Human comes in 13th place. In the shot put, 9.75 meters. Big finish here in the pole vault for the Bulldogs, a girl who's been consistently one of the best in Southeast Missouri all year, Abigail Spooler. 3.31 meters, gets her 4th place, gets her that all-state recognition, gets her well up on the podium there in 4th place. 2 triple jumpers, Grayson Maurer and Lily Carr were in the final. Lily finishes in 14th place. Grayson Maurer gets up into the all-state realm as well, coming in 6th place there, over 11 meters on that triple jump, so big time showing there. And then in the long jump, Vita Galati comes in 7th place for the Bulldogs. Maybe somebody I kind of overlooked a little bit throughout the year, peaking at the right time. That's what you want to do in track and field. That's kind of what it's all about. You're working, you're getting stronger, getting in better form, but you want to make that improvement gradual to where you are running your best, jumping your best, throwing your best, whatever it is, this time of year at the state meet, in districts and sectionals at state. You want to be hitting PRs. You want to be the best you can be. And Galati, like I said, long jump, 5.18 meters. That put her on the podium as well, 7th place. So big time showing there. So like I said, a lot of all-staters there on the field side of things. Running did not get up there on the podium this year for Notre Dame, but I do think some noise will be made in the future for the Bulldogs in the 200. Jesse Iwuchukwu comes in 16th place, 26.94. Didn't make it into the final for the 1600 and the 3200. You had the same 2 girls qualified out of sectionals there, Martina Ressel and Lily Coy. Lily, the veteran of the group. Martina, only a freshman, another phenomenal freshman for the Notre Dame. In the 1600, it was Martina coming in 11th and Lily Coy coming in 14th place. Martina finished in 5:14, Lily Coy 5:28. And then the 3200, they swap positions. Lily Coy comes in 11th at 11:41, and then Martina Ressel runs 12 minutes, 12 seconds, come in 13th place in the 3,200 meters. So very good season by both of them. They've been consistently very, very good throughout all year in those long-distance races, especially around the area. They've been very, very fun to watch. And then we got several relays, but before that, 300-meter hurdles, Lily Carr Comes in 12th place, does not make the finals, but comes in 12th place for 47.94 in the 300 hurdles. And the relays had the 4x1, 4x4, and 4x8 up at state. The 4x1 came in 10th place in prelims and didn't make the finals. They ran 49.51. The 4x4 team, same deal, did not make the final. They came in 10th place, 4:08. And then the 4x8 team, 10 minutes, 5 seconds, comes in 13th place. So a good showing. A lot of girls qualifying for the Bulldogs. They had a very, very good year throughout the season. A lot of talented runners, a lot of talented people, a lot of field athletes, And so they're a team that I expect to have a lot of runners and field athletes back next season. They're going to be competitive and very, very tough outs once we get to track season next year. And some of those distance runners, Martina Russell, expect to see her doing big things in cross country early next year as well. So I'll now jump up to Class 5, Cape Central, Jackson, up in Class 5, boys and girls. Let's see, how do I want to go about this? We will start, I'll go with Cape Central first. They sent a decent amount of athletes up there, a couple, especially on the girls' side. Maybe a little bit of a surprise for me personally. Taraji Riley just missed out on the final. She came in 9th place in the prelims. Ran 12:37, not a bad time. Not quite the PR. I think she got under 12, earlier here in the postseason. But runs 12:37. A lot of wind blowing in their face. I remember up at the state track this past week. So that could have played a little bit of part in it. So she just misses out on the all-state recognition, comes in 9th place in the 100. Jamie Dawson-Ide, a very good multi-sport athlete for the Tigers, good basketball player. She made it up there in the 400. Made it up there in the 400 meters. She came in 15th place, 1 minute, 2 seconds. Pretty consistent to where she has been time-wise. She's been running right around a minute all season long. Their relay teams have been good all season. They're one of the more dominant relay teams in Southeast Missouri. The 4x1 team comes in 14th place, and the 4x2 team also comes in 14th place. And then in the discus, Layla Bergfield comes in 16th with a throw of 32.21. So those are kind of the people who did not make All-State. I guess I'll stay with the Tigers here. On their boys' side, they had 2 athletes who, in my opinion, could compete at the very, very highest level here in Class 5. Isaiah Husky, been a great shot putter, the best shot putter in Southeast Missouri. Big, strong kid. He's been putting up huge, huge throws. And the state meet was no exception. He'd been up over 17 meters pretty consistently throughout the year. I know he had been working on, implementing the spin in his throws throughout the later part of the season. But, he came out, he showed out here in the shot put. He put up a massive throw, 17 meters, 17.76 meters, to finish third in an absolutely stacked field. And when I say stacked, I mean he was throwing against the greatest thrower that we will ever see in the state of Missouri, right? Jackson Cantwell, a kid from Nixa. He's the number 1 football recruit in the country. He's 6'8", 320 pounds. He's a freak of nature. His parents were like Olympians. The kid was touched by the wand. He has every physical gift kind of just put into him early on. Isaiah Husky had a big number to try to compete against. Cantwell and his teammate Hayden Mays up over 18 meters as well. Jackson Cantwell, for reference, like I said, Isaiah Husky, 17.76 meters. New PR for him, comes in 3rd place. Jackson Cantwell threw 23.45 meters. That's 76 feet, almost 77 feet. Banana land. Kid's insane. Kid's a freak of nature. Huge, huge throw by Husky. Like I said, I've loved seeing the numbers roll in for him all season long. He's a beast in the shot. He's been phenomenal all year. And, He's got another year to go, only a junior. I don't know what's going to happen with Cantwell. He's a junior as well. Big-time football recruits usually like to graduate early, get into their football program early. I mean, we could be looking at a situation where Isaiah Husky is a contender to win a state title next year in the shot put. So great job by him. Great finish to the season. He is the example I talked about of you want to be peaking at the right time, and he did. He peaked here in the state championships and put up a big throw. And then in pole vault, Kent Sheridan has been a kid that's been dominant all season long. He's winning every meet he enters, especially here in southeast Missouri, eastern side of the state. He's been very, very good all season long. He comes in second place this year, 4.71 meters. That's 15 feet, 5.5 inches, just short of Jacob Poole, senior from Kirkwood. So kind of take that transitive property there. Kent Sheridan is the favorite going into next season. He is the favorite to win a state title next year in the pole vault. He comes from a great, track family and coach, dad. So I expect him to be back. I expect him to be excellent next season as well. Heck of a year. Like I said, he was just under that PR. I think his PR is 4.78, which was the winning jump. So I know he'll come back hungry. Finished third last year. Comes in second this year. So, hey, looking for the gold next year. Let's go. Let's get it right, Kent. So I'm excited to see what he can do. I think he's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun to look forward to next season, kind of what he can do, what numbers he can put up. So we'll talk about Jackson now to close. And I want to close with Jackson because they did have some of the bigger results here of the championship season. We'll look on the girls' side first. So Jackson put through a good amount of girls throughout different events. Pretty good group of throwers went to state. I'll start with shot put. Emerson Gross actually qualified in discus and shot put. So in the shot put, she comes in 11th place, 11.43 meters. Great job there by her. In the javelin, Katarina Ellefson comes in 10th place in 38.13 meters. Been consistent all season. Been one of, if not the best, javelin throwers, here in southeast Missouri. And then in discus, you get the high finish there of 5th place for Emerson Gross, a senior. I saw that she hadn't really thrown the discus before up until this year. But hey, some natural ability there. Kicked in pretty quick for her. She's had a heck of a year. Comes in 5th place, almost 39 meters on that throw. So a heck of a finish, all-state finish there for Miss Gross. Also, for the Indians, had another big-time finish, Amelia Fox in the pole vault. Only a freshman. She finished in 6th place, get up on the podium. 3.53 meters, big-time jump out of her. She's had a good year, been pretty consistent, like I said. I'm saying about a lot of these kids. And, kind of, like I said, peaking at the right time. Did well there in the finals as, like I said, a freshman, stepping up, competing against a lot of very, very talented people. And comes in there in 6th place, got her all-state medal as well. So Brooklyn Williams in the long jump qualified for the Indians, the only horizontal jumper there for the Indians. So she finished in 10th place at 5.24 meters. Their 4x18 qualified for state. They finished in 14th place, just over 10 minutes, 3 seconds. And they had a couple of distance runners. One in the 1600, that was Emma Needbalski. She comes in 14th place, 5 minutes, 17 seconds. And then the high finisher for Jackson girls was Annika Barks. She finishes in 4th place, 11 minutes, 8 seconds. And just a phenomenal way to cap off the season for Barks. She'd been running well. I mean, she's been dominant in the area all season long in distance races. And she ran a really, really good race. It was a pretty quick race. There were some very big-time girls running in the race that finished ahead of her. And she was aggressive, I thought, late in the race. It was nice to see. She started out slow. She kind of let other people set the pace. She kind of sat back in the back of the pack. And then just started picking people off one by one. kind of made her move throughout the race and then finished strong, had a huge finish at the close, come in fourth place. I know she was excited. I saw her throwing her arms up at the finish line. Very, very excited for her, and a very, very good close to her season as well. And then we'll flip over to the boys' side, where Jackson sent a few competitors over, a couple of people running in several different races. We'll start with the field events in discus. Bryson Wessel, very, very good football player, very good wrestler, third place wrestling, all-state football player. He comes in ninth place, just missed a podium, just missed a medal stand in discus. 49.71 was the throw for him. He's another guy, though, I expect to be back and be competing at another high level next year if he chooses to stick with discus. A lot of opportunities in football ahead of him, so we'll see what goes on there. Ryan Larry competed in the high jump for the Indians. He finished in 14th place, 1.78 meters. It's right around that 6-foot mark for Ryan Larry. The tough story of the day for Jackson, the 4x100 team. They finished in 8th in the prelims, so they did make the final. They ran 42.16. Good team throughout the year. They've got the anchor of Blayne Reagan, who's we'll get to, stud. Barrett Reagan, his brother, very, very good runner as well. And then in the middle, they had Memphis Maddox and Jalen Hampton, a couple of guys who I'm expecting very, very big things out of. A little bit of the non-traditional lightning backfield the Indians will be running next year. I assume they're both going to be in the backfield next year. But yeah, Memphis and Jalen Hampton, phenomenal speed, young guys. Memphis a freshman, Jalen a sophomore. So they make the final. And then the one thing you can't do, Barrett Reagan false started to start the race, and so they got DQ'd in the final. Were unable to run, able to technically finish all state, I believe is how that works. So they were unable to get a medal. That's a very, very tough break for those guys. That's kind of the part that sucks about track and field. Sometimes you get to this high stage and just one false jump puts you in a tough spot. So tough break. But there were a couple of individuals that did finish triumphantly for the Indians, we'll say. So 100 meters, Blayne Reagan and Barrett Reagan both competed in the 400, and Blayne qualified in the 100. Also, I know that they had Blayne a part of the 4x2 team, and I don't know what happened exactly. The 4x2 team had a DNS next to their name at the sectional round, I want to say. So I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was a false start like this or if it was an injury or something messed up. I don't know what happened. I don't know what the cause was. I didn't look into it. It was disappointing. But, man, I would have loved to seen Blayne Reagan in the 200 because that's another race I think he could have been in the finals. I think he could have been getting on that medal stand, being competitive in. Not this year. Maybe we'll see it next year. Only a sophomore. So I'm kind of excited to see where he goes from here. But 100 meters, Blayne Reagan in the prelims comes in 7th place to get into the finals. He ran 11:06 in the prelims. Decently above his, best times of the year. I think his low on the season is 10.7 flat. In the final, tough final, a little bit of a headwind. A lot of very, very good runners, a lot of great sprinters. He finishes in 6th place, 10.78 seconds in the 100. It was a stacked field, like I said, up at the top. There was a big group. Like I said, Blayne, in my opinion, could have been anywhere from 4th to 7th there, in my opinion. So he does finish right around where I thought he would. A couple of hundredths here or there is the difference between, maybe 6th and 4th place, but you cannot complain. Big time effort there as a sophomore in a very, very, very good field in the 100 meters. Then Barrett and Blayne ran prelims in the 400. Barrett ran a 48.11 to come in 3rd, and Blayne Reagan ran, at the time, a new PR and a new school record of 47.28 in the prelims. So he finished 1st in the prelims. Barrett finished 3rd. And so the way that works in track is moving into the finals, Blayne got called the preferred lane of lane 4, and his brother Barrett was just inside of him in lane 3. If memory serves me correctly. So he was in Barrett's in lane 3, Blayne is in lane 4. And from there, go check out our Exit 99 Sports Facebook page if you want to see the whole video of the race. I mean, just an incredible race. I know that there was a crazy finish in one of the long-distance races, so I'm not going to try to take away from that as far as the race of the day on the weekend, maybe. But, I mean, the race of the day, in my very biased opinion, 400 meters, you have Blayne Reagan, who's run 47 low now. You had a kid named John Moss from Hickman, who had run 47 low this season as well. Both of them sophomores. Moss had run a 20.9 200 meter at some point this season. He is an absolute stud. And so, Blayne had his hands full in the race, and it was incredible. Like I said, I implore you, not just for my own personal fulfillment here, getting me more clicks or views or something, I implore you to go look at the video I have on the Exit 99 Sports Facebook page and see how that one went down. A lot of very good runners in the race. Blayne Reagan, maybe a little bit behind, running about 2 to 3 to 5 meters, maybe at the most, behind Moss. The first 300 meters of the race or so. Moss had a lead going into the final 100. Like I said, maybe about 3 to 5 meters, and Blayne just never faltered. His stride never changed, his arms never changed. He never, he never looked winded. He never looked desperate. He didn't flail. He stuck to his training. Obviously not the tallest kid in the world, but a very strong build. Just used his power, obviously his incredible natural talent, whatever, grit, willpower, whatever you want to say, and crossed the line, got the lean right in front of John Moss to come in first place and win an individual state title for Jackson in track and field. For the first time since 2014, I mentioned it on either Facebook or X, since Sierra Maddox. A lot of people learning about Sierra Maddox because of that. 2-time state champion herself in the pole vault. Shout out Sierra. Incredible. It was such a fun race. And then the incredible didn't really end there. Blayne Reagan for the Indians comes in 4th place. He runs under 48 seconds as well. So 4 guys finished under 48 seconds in the 400. Incredible race. Both brothers running sub 48 is crazy. It's insane. It makes me just want to find any kid that's a good athlete at Jackson to make them train in the 400 so that they can compete next year in the 4x4 at state. Because you got 2 guys running 47 in the 400. Can we get 2 other guys running 50-ish to put together a 4x4 team like that? I'm excited about the possibilities. Blayne Reagan, state champion as a sophomore, is crazy. Blayne Reagan, 4th place as a junior, phenomenal for him. So shout out to the Reagans, the Reagan family, obviously the boys, their whole family. Incredible race. I think that puts him, I want to say 7th all time in the state of Missouri, 400 meters for Blayne. Every guy above him ran at a very high D1 level, and then about half of them have run. One of them was Quincy Hall, who just had got a gold medal in the 400 in Paris. Pretty good company to be with. So, the stuff Blayne did this year was unbelievable. It's blown me away all season long. He's been my favorite athlete all season as far as track and field goes. Maybe my favorite athlete regardless of sports. It's been awesome. It's been an awesome year, and no better way than capping it off with a 400 victory. I bought the live stream from Misha. Misha, I beg you, please make it work on somebody's phone just one time. Make it work on the phone. I watched it. I put it on my 80-inch TV. Watched the race. I was on my feet. I was freaking out. The fact that him and Second place, we're within 4/100ths of each other. Was insane. So it was exciting, incredible time. So shout out to Reagan. Man, they were awesome all season. Blayne getting the first place there in the 400 was very, very cool to see. So big time runs, big time year in spring sports for everybody. Everybody in the area competed at a high level. This Cape Jackson area, very, very good across spring sports. Very, very good years. It was an awesome time for me. I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed rooting on these individuals, rooting on the teams, getting out, seeing some of the teams play as well. It was a lot of fun, and it was a great, great season. And, like I said, I'm a fan. I do this all as a fan. I just want to give all these kids all the props they deserve. Give them their flowers, as the saying goes. They deserve it. Been a lot of fun. So they definitely entertained me throughout the spring sports season and throughout the year as a whole. The whole sports calendar now for high school comes to a close. A lot of seniors moving on from this area. A lot of very high talent, high character kids going to be graduating, going to be doing other things in life, work, school, other training, stuff like that, military. So a lot of great kids moving on, but a lot of exciting kids that are going to be sticking around. Have me very excited for this upcoming school year. Not just spring sports, but we'll be getting things ready for the fall. I'm not going to go anywhere. We're going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep talking to you guys about anything I can find to talk about, which is not too hard for me if you haven't noticed. So we're going to keep it going. Like I said, now that sports are over, I'm going to hoping to be doing a lot more interviews, some things like that, be able to record some of those and just keep pumping them out throughout the summer for you guys. We get Cody back in here. Me and Cody might do some fun theoreticals, maybe some look-aheads as we get closer to fall, which is closer to football season. That kind of moves the needle for a lot of people. So we'll be talking a lot of football. We'll be looking ahead, looking what teams have coming back. Maybe do some fun drafts of historical teams or do some top 10 list, make people angry, stuff like that. So I appreciate you guys as always. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow us wherever you are seeing this or hearing this at. We're always on Spotify, Apple, Amazon. You can watch us as you may be right now on Facebook, YouTube. Check us out everywhere. We got social media platforms everywhere as well. Exit 99 Sports, X, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, where I post videos. So I've made a promise to only myself that I will be more involved in TikTok. We'll see how that goes. I'm calling out my 20-year-old sister to give me assistance with that, as I am old. So, but no, I appreciate you guys. Thank you all for being with us. Thank you for sticking with us all season, all year, school year. And yeah, excited to keep it going. Excited to see what next season and next year has to hold. So for the last time in spring sport calendar, I'm going to sign off. Thank you all. Have a good one. We will see you next time.